up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool news video where we will talk about mainly the title race and how big and how realistic of a chance Liverpool have of winning the Premier League title, because Arsenal lost at home last night to West Ham United, the team that hasn't won against a top 6 side for many years. And at Arsenal, West Ham's record was 0 wins, something like 4 draws and 15 defeats. So they were winless in like 19 games against Liverpool. West Ham are winless away from home in like 18 games or something like that. And against Man City, it's an even longer streak for West Ham. So that victory, that Arsenal-West Ham game is a huge anomaly. And I think West Ham actually deserved it, because they scored pretty early, and it's very ironic that it was also a former Arsenal player who very briefly played for Arsenal, Mavropanos. He was a centre-back for them a few years ago, played only like 8 or 10 games. But actually, after West Ham took the early lead, Arsenal had a lot of chances. They had overall 30 shots, 8 shots on target. They had 74% possession. This was a classic David Moyes, sit back and play on the counter-attack type of victory. But Arsenal looked pretty toothless, and Arsenal don't have a Mo Salah or an Erling Haaland, a guy who will score 20-25 league goals for them and bail them out when they really need it. And even though Arsenal had one of the best defenses in the Premier League this season, they still looked very vulnerable almost every time when West Ham could actually put some good passing sequences together and got closer to the Arsenal goal. Arsenal defense didn't really look settled. I'm still not convinced by Zinchenko, and also Gabriel and Saliba are not as good as Konate and Van Dijk in their prime. So I think right now Liverpool have one hell of a chance to win the title, but it will depend a lot on how the injuries heal up for Liverpool. We still have Mo Salah and Endo for one more game, and then they will go to the Africa Cup of Nations and to the Asia Games or Asia Cup in the case of Endo, and they will miss a lot of games. But thank goodness Jota just comes back in time to replace Salah on the right wing, and McAllister comes back in time to replace Endo. McAllister has been seen in the training pictures. But by the way, let me know in the comments below, who do you think will win the title, and also give a brief explanation why you think that. So if you think Liverpool, let me know. If you think Man City, let me know why. If you think it's Arsenal, let me know why you think they will win the title. It's almost impossible to predict right now because there are so too many variables. And of course, obviously, when Erling Haaland, when Kevin De Bruyne, when all of these players, Jeremy Doku, when all of these players come back for Man City, they will look like a completely different side. But I'm still not as convinced by them as I was last season, because this is a different Man City side. They lost 3 of their best players. They lost Gundogan, they lost Laporte, and they lost Mahrez. And especially Gundogan and Mahrez was so vital for Manchester City going forward. So many games were decided by them. So many games they got bailed out by a Mahrez goal or an assist, or a Gundogan goal or an assist. But first, let's talk about the games that potentially Salah or Endo, or even both of them, could miss. If Salah's Egypt goes to the final of the Africa Cup of Nations, then he could be back in the middle of February, just like Endo. If Japan goes to the final of the Asia Games, then Endo could be back in the middle of February. So both of them will play the Liverpool-Newcastle game, but after that they will leave and they will miss the FA Cup game against Arsenal, the Fulham semi-final, and then I think the crucial part is the Premier League, and of course the FA Cup is very important, but they will definitely miss the Arsenal-Liverpool FA Cup game for sure, and potentially even the 4th round of the FA Cup game. I think the League Cup semi-final we can navigate that. Potentially Salah would have been rotated for that anyway. Potentially Endo would have been rotated for that anyway because McAllister is back. But in the Premier League, they will miss the Bournemouth game, and after that, if they get to the final, they will miss us playing Chelsea at home, Arsenal away, Burnley at home, and Brentford away. That's 5 Premier League games that both Salah and Endo could miss, and especially Salah missing for these games is a really big one for Liverpool, because Salah is our top scorer, he's our best player. But at least now, with the Burnley game, you could see that Luis Diaz is starting to get back in form. Darwin Núñez finally broke his goal scoring drought, and also Jota came back and straight away scored, and he looks like he's very hungry and he wants to make up for lost time. We now have much more firepower actually. Then remember when both Salah and Mane left for the Africa Cup of Nations? There were some winters where Liverpool badly struggled without those players, because then I remember we only had Firmino and maybe Divock Origi and Minamino in that time to complement those guys, and that's of course hell of a worse option, hell of a worse position to be in than what Liverpool find themselves in. So I wouldn't swap that team and that situation to this one, because actually in that time we had Firmino for 1 month and then we had to plug some gaps. So we had to play Origi on the left wing. I remember that was a disaster. We had to play Minamino on the right wing, and that was it. This time we still have Darwin Núñez, Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo and Diogo Jota, 4 borderline world-class attackers, plus we have Dominic Szoboszlai who can play right wing. We have Harvey Elliott who can play right wing. And we have even Curtis Jones who sometimes played on the wing as well. But Dominic Szoboszlai is a genuine option at the right wing position and even in the left wing position. He actually played 27 times during his Red Bull Leipzig and Red Bull Salzburg days on the right wing, scoring 11 goals and getting 8 assists in those 27 games. So that's 19 goal contributions in 27 times. And also Dominic Szoboszlai has the pace, the trickery, the skill, the dribbling and the shooting from range to play on the right wing, and he can also cross the ball absolutely brilliantly. So Liverpool are by far more equipped to handle Salah going to the Africa Cup of Nations than in previous years when Salah and Mane both at the same time went to the Africa Cup of Nations. We lost 2/3 of our firepower, and at that time we didn't have goal scoring midfielders. Now this time we have Dominic Szoboszlai, who is a goal-scoring midfielder, McAllister, who is a goal-scoring midfielder, and also we have Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott, who are all chipping in with goals this season. So Liverpool are by far more equipped to handle these guys going to the Africa Cup of Nations. And I also want to look at our current goal scorers. Of course, Salah is our top scorer, Jota is second with 9 goals, we have Darwin Núñez with 8 goals, Cody Gakpo with 7, Luis Diaz with 5. So even though Salah leaves, we still have another 4 attackers who are having at least 5 goals each, some of them close to 10 goals, like Jota and Núñez are very close to getting 10 goals already this season. And we have Szoboszlai with 4 goals, we have Trent Alexander-Arnold with 2 goals, Curtis Jones with 2 goals, Gravenberch with 2 goals, McAllister, Elliott all scored. So I think Liverpool can handle the absence of Salah much better than we previously handled the absence of both Salah and Mane, who both left for the Africa Cup of Nations. I think the tricky period will be if Egypt and Japan have a deep run, then we have to play Chelsea and Arsenal in the matter of 5 days in the Premier League at the end of January, at the beginning of February, and especially the Arsenal away game without Salah and Endo, that will be a tricky one. But I think the other games, I mean, we can beat Chelsea at Anfield. Chelsea are not as strong as they used to be, and we can beat Bournemouth away, as tough a game as that is. We can beat them without Salah. We can beat Burnley at Anfield, and potentially we can beat Brentford away from home, even though they are a tough team. And then we play Luton at home. That's the first game where definitely Salah and Endo will be back 100%. And the most crucially, on March the 9th, Liverpool play Manchester City, and I think we have to be in first place when we play Man City. So we absolutely, if we beat them, we can stay top of the league, and that will be really, really crucial for the run-in, because after that Man City game, the only other really tough game that we have is Manchester United at Old Trafford. All the other games I think are winnable. And also, yeah, Villa Park, Aston Villa away from home on May the 11th. But by that time, Aston Villa could already secure Champions League football, or they could have fallen away. We don't know that yet for 100% certainty. I still don't count Manchester City out, because as I said, Man City, even though they haven't played well, they are only 2 points behind Liverpool, of course, if they win their game in hand. And that's why I'm still wary of Manchester City, especially because of the immense refereeing help that they are getting. And Man City will play Sheffield United, and they actually navigated this period without Erling Haaland quite comfortably. They won pretty much every game without Erling Haaland. The crucial thing is, if Man City get De Bruyne back and Haaland back and all their other injuries heal, then they will be almost as strong as they were last season. So Liverpool really need to keep winning. That's the only other way that I see. Liverpool have to put a winning run together. And it's absolutely crazy that we would be unbeaten at the halfway stage of the season if the referees did their job properly. I don't want to go on a refereeing rant again, because I did that in yesterday's video, but it's crazy that our only defeat is still a Joel Matip own goal in the last minute of that infamous Tottenham-Liverpool game, where Liverpool got 2 unjust red cards and a perfectly good goal not given to Liverpool, and that's our only defeat still. And even against Man United and Arsenal, we should have won both of those games. But don't look back. I think we should look forward. Andy Robertson is back in January. Until then, hopefully Joe Gomez can do a good job. Thiago is also back in training, and we will see him in January. That's a big plus for Liverpool. If Thiago can play 10-15 games in the Premier League this season, that could be the difference between Liverpool winning the title or not. So let me know, how do you see the title race unfolding? I just wanted to make a video analyzing it for you guys, because I know that you are as invested in this as I am. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.